it's Lisa. I have some photos here from Valentine's Day, which was a real low-key affair around here. And I want to put those on a one-page layout. I have two smaller photos, and then I have the one 4x6 to go down here at the bottom. And I have all of these tags because I'm going to be working with Basic Gray's Dear Heart papers. And I have lots of 12 by 12 from this, and I will be using some 12 by 12, but I also have a lot of stickers. And their Dear Heart and Hillside, those two collections were almost, the colors are almost exactly the same. There's a slight difference maybe in the greens, but that's about it. They're very, very close. But Dear Heart in particular has lots of things I really like. It was Always You, All My Love, lots of great things for Valentine's Day, and I thought that they would make a cute banner. So I did a banner design on my sketch. I also thought this would be an opportunity to use some of the smaller prints out of the 6x6 pad, and maybe some of the things off of this paper. I have quite a bit of 12 by 12 because when I ordered the Basic Gray warehouse box, they didn't send me the 6x6 pad of Dear Heart. They sent me a bunch of 12 by 12. I ordered the 6x6 pad separately from a cherry on top, so I've got both. The interesting thing is this paper that's in these big cut aparts did not come in the 6x6. I thought that was kind of surprising, but it's not in here. So I don't have those little things to cut apart, but I do have some of the larger ones. And like this one with the heart is cute, maybe Soulmate. So there's several things here that go with Valentine's Day that we may cut up. The back side of this is a good B-side print, so I don't know for sure that I'm going to use that. I have not decided on a background paper. I have a lot of stuff here from Dear Heart. I had planned, I thought when I did Valentine's, to use this paper with the letter sort of theme, but I have another page later on that I could do with the letter theme. So I'm not certain. What I think I'm going to do is pull together my banner, and I may work just for purposes of playing with, there's a solid somewhere. Oh, it's the back side of this paper. And I've got two sheets of quite a few of these things. This tandem bicycle, my husband and I bike, but we never have done a tandem bike. I just don't know how well that would work. But anyway, so I'm going to use this, at least for the time being, as the foundation of where I'm going to start kind of building my page. I'll trim those down and then pull together this banner using some of the smaller prints and some of the stickers. So first let's start with picking out some banners. Stickers that will work really well, I think. A lot of them are tags. I do like this arrow, though I think I'm going to have to do something with it besides just, I'm going to have to put it on something to make it work. And I stuck really with the Dear Heart collection, although Hillside does have some banners as well. Picking out a few 6x6 papers that I think look good with the photos and will be nice small prints to make tags from. There was one print there that's kind of this all-over design that's really prominent, and I don't have that in 12 by 12. It's a little bit of a challenge sometimes to figure out what to do with that in 6x6, and we do address that in the 6x6 paper pad class that I have out now. So there'll be information about that in the description for this video that you can link on. Now for my tags, I'm also looking for some twine here. I'm going to cut some tags manually. I'm going to use the silhouette for some. Just kind of have to decide what I want to cut out. So I'm just kind of getting some supplies out here. And I did cut one with the silhouette there in that floral, and then using some of the 6x6 as matting for some of the tags that need a little bit more to them. They're just not big enough to go on the banner. And I really like this stripe for the arrow, because the arrow's definitely got to have something to kind of hold it on there. I'll just trim it out and then notch the bottom. And I can add a hole at the top for the thread to go through. Now I'm looking for something to go on the bottom. I'm not done with my banner, but I felt like I needed to make some decisions on paper. I needed to know what 12 by 12 I was going to use at the bottom, because I was considering one of the small versions of that 12 by 12 for the banner, and I didn't think I wanted to use that particular pattern twice on the page. You could, but I just didn't think I wanted to. So what I've kind of narrowed it down to, I'm pretty sure I'm going to use the stripe and that one pattern as a border. We'll see that coming up. I'm doing a circle shaped tag, and the way I do my little reinforcements for a tag is I punch a hole with the regular hole punch, in this case a crocodile, and then I punch over it with a 1/2 inch punch. So that makes the reinforcement for a tag. And then I can glue that on and punch a hole through the tag itself. Now this cut apart sheet, there's one up here that I think might be really good for the journaling, and I like the little heart and the circle. I'm going to need to punch it out, I think, to put it on that circle tag. Kind of looking to see what other embellishments I can find from these sticker sheets. And I picked out one more that I'm going to do the red matte with. It's just a little red tone-on-tone print from the 6x6. So down on the bottom of the page, I'm taking out of this red design paper a stripe that I just hand trimmed out because it had kind of a rough edge to it, or an edge that wasn't perfectly straight. So I just hand trimmed it, and then I'm going to use it along with the stripe to make my bottom border. And I thought I'd put my journaling on this block that says Where We Belong. So it's kind of goes, I think, with the being at home theme and being together theme. Okay. I've got my tags about ready to go on, and I'm starting to work on my title, because the title was supposed to go up at the top above the tags, but I don't have a lot of room up there because I have a lot of tags. So I decided to put it at the bottom of the page. And low key is part of the title, and you'll see the rest of it coming up later with the silhouette. I just needed to make sure I had enough room at the bottom before I started assembling the page. I hadn't used my glue pen in a long time. It took me a while to get it started. And I want to order these so that they, have a balance of shapes and not all the same shape together on my little string here. I used Lawn Fawn trimmings, the gold trim, gold and ivory. This was one of their Christmas trimmings a few years ago. Their trimmings, if they still sell them, those things last forever and ever and ever. They're great twine to have on hand. I haven't bought any twine in ages because I've got quite a collection and I still use it, but I just don't use that much of it at a time, so it really tends to last. And that one little tag there, I'm just going to glue on. It doesn't have a hole in the top, and there's not really room for a hole in the top, so I'm just going to glue it onto the paper like it's hanging from the thread in the end. Now some of those tags were still stuck to the wax paper that I had put the stickers on, so now I'm pulling everything apart so that I can start to put it on the paper. Being stickers is a great advantage because once I get them where I want them, I just sort of stick those down, and then it holds the whole banner kind of in place until I can get the strings attached and get everything else glued on. Using the tiny attacher, and then I'll just add some adhesive behind each of these tags to keep them where I want them to go. I'm in the Silhouette software, and I've already typed in Valentine's and Day as two separate bits of text because I'm going to be moving them using different fonts, which I could do as one, but I'm going to be kind of moving them around in a different pattern of how they're sized and whatnot. So I wanted them in two different pieces. So I'm going to choose Valentine's and go over to my library. And the font that I like is the Perfect Susan font, which is one that I downloaded from the Silhouette store. So when I select it and go back to the drawing area, that's the font that's picked, and very often it adjusts the size. So I'm going to bring this back out to almost 4, I think is a good size for this. And I do want to weld it together. So I'm going to right click and choose Weld. and that will just put all the letters together. Now, a good thing to do here is to right click and group so that you don't lose your I's and your apostrophes and everything is together, unless for some reason you want to move pieces around, and sometimes I do. In this case though, I want Valentine's to be all one word here. So we have Valentine's and then day. And day, I'm going to use some of my fonts over on the text style. I could use something simple like Times New Roman, or I could go down and try some different fonts. Now, in my Silhouette Titles and Text class, we look at some ways to sort of shortcut this process of having to go through bunches and bunches of fonts. Right now, I'm just going to go through and see what I like. Century's always good. Let's just stick with Century because I want it to look kind of traditional, I think. Oh, I can't help but look at a couple more. Oh, I like that too. Constantina, we'll do that. All right, so let's choose this font, and I'm just going to move this up here so that it just touches the word Valentine's. And then I have two items that I'm going to select, right click, and weld. And this is going to put them together. Oops. If I zoom in here a little bit, I don't have them quite, well, maybe I do. The A and N are barely together. I'm going to select this and do a Control Z until I get back to them being separate. And what I want to do then is just move this over just a little bit. I use a lot of times the arrow keys on my keyboard so I can get these a little bit closer, because they would have been joined before, but it would have been barely hanging together there. So I'm going to select both of them again, right click and group, or excuse me, right click and weld, and that will put the letters together, Valentine's and day, so they'll all cut as one cut. And so that, again, we do this kind of thing and lots of other little more complicated text features in the Silhouette Titles and Text. So if you have a silhouette, we learn a lot of things in there, and we also do step-by-step layouts, or several layouts in the class. And now I'm ready to send this to cut. So I cut Valentine's Day out of some of the 6x6 red paper that we had used behind some of these tags. And went ahead and glued that on. And now I have my text that I typed up, and I've shown this before, where I type the text, print it out, and then I use lines to kind of indicate where the text is on the paper, and then those lines can help me figure out where to line up my piece of paper that I'm putting over the top, whether it's ledger paper or some of the 6x6, or in this case one of the cards from the 12x12 sheet. So let's give this a little bit more adhesive and put that on. Okay. Alright, and so the only thing I think this layout needs to finish up is I will probably write something handwritten here to go in there, and the year, I'll go ahead and put the 2016 on there because I haven't put it anywhere else, and that wraps up this page. So from our sketch, I moved the title down because I didn't feel like I needed the word that big. Oh, I haven't put any hearts on. I had some little hearts up here. Let me do that. Let me add a little bit more detail, and then we'll look at the final page. Alright, so now we have some close-up views of our page with our little hearts on there. And I'm going to have to do just a tad of trimming too to get this in the album because that sticks out just a little bit. That's okay. So we stuck pretty closely to the sketch, added this border, and just moved the title around a little bit. And I have more tags here than I had originally on the sketch, but I really like that. And I like the staples that hold that together. I was thinking about maybe putting little ties, a little bow or something there, but I don't think that works for this page. I like it the way it is. So we got to use lots of stickers and some 6x6 paper for some of the tags and for some, to add a little extras to some of those stickers. And we used some 12x12 paper for the border and the bottom, and then this die cut, and then again the 6x6 for the title. So we used a lot of things out of the Dear Heart collection from Basic Gray. So thank you so much for watching. If you're interested in my classes, I do have several classes, including the sensational 6x6 paper techniques class, and the silhouette class on titles and text. See the description for this video for a link for more information. If you like this video, I'd love to get a thumbs up, and if you didn't, if you leave me some constructive criticism, that can help me make the videos better. Thanks so much for watching.